along. If you have any questions, feel free to ask away. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome everybody. My name is Kathleen Madera. I'm the trades counselor at Willow Center. That's one of our 3 adult schools located within this school district. So there's many amazing opportunities that we have available to you as a high school student from our district. And I'm going to go into some programs. I'm going to focus on the programs that are here on the screen. But I also want to welcome you to ask any questions on anything I did not provide. So these are just a few. We have 17 different programs. And all of our programs, most of them I would say qualify for financial aid, meaning you can apply and see if you qualify for the grant, and it could help pay for all of your program, so you don't even have to pay a dime. So does anyone know what financial aid is? Yes, okay.
Federal aid.
Absolutely, yes. Can everyone hear me? Step a little too far. Yeah, okay. Great. Yes, absolutely. So it is federal money that the government is giving students in order to take a program, right? And it's not just limited to college, it's not just limited to universities, it's also available at adult schools. So all you have to do is submit paperwork, make sure you complete the application, and you can get up to $7,400 for the program. So most of our programs are much less than that. So it'll pay for your program, and you'll also have what we call a reimbursement if you have complete all of your hours. So that's an amazing opportunity that we offer. And as well, although I said 17, we are constantly changing. We're always trying to modify our programs to see what is in high demand in the workforce. So we want to make sure that there's a good outlook of programs that are going to get the students into a career, right? So we're not going to offer a program that the projected growth is decreasing within the next 10 years. We actually do the opposite. On an annual basis, we make sure we meet with employers that inform us about the trends that are apparent right now in society. So it's like programs that we want to make sure their students are going to get a job in. So we'll go ahead and focus on the main part, which is what I think everyone wants to know. How do you get into a program, right? So the registration process is very simple. You have to be at least 18 and over. So you have to have a high school diploma, and just make sure that you are 18 and you enroll. All the programs have different enrollment requirements in the sense that all the health career programs, you need to make sure that you pass what we call the assessment, the CASAS assessment, and every program is going to require you to take that assessment no matter what program you do. It can be in the trades, it can be in the personal services like cosmetology, barbering, or in health careers. But the health careers are very specific. So they're benchmarks, meaning like the amount, the number that you have to get in order to qualify to be in the program is very strict. And if you don't pass it, you have an opportunity to re-enroll, but you must pass that test. And so I kind of got a little bit ahead of myself, but the first step is you want to do the interest form. So at the end of this slideshow, there's going to be a QR code. If you are a senior and you're going to be graduating soon and something sparked, some of the programs that I mentioned today sparked your interest, please fill that out. It's very simple to just ask your first and last name and your email and phone number so that the counselor can get in contact with you and start adding you to the list for when the next cohort is available once you've already graduated. And then they're going to go ahead and give you guidelines as to what is the process for registration. But normally, it's you take the assessment, you do your orientation, you submit any required paperwork, and then you complete all the necessary requirements of orientation, meet with them, sign paperwork, and then you'll be ready to begin your program. And it's hard to tell you when exactly you start. For the most part, it's during the fall and spring semester. So fall is about August, and then spring is in January. However, we have multiple programs that enroll on a cohort basis, meaning that sometimes they start like in March or they start in October. So there's always opportunities for you to enroll if maybe you want to take a few months before you are ready to initiate your career. So we're going to focus right now on welding. Does anyone know a welder in their family, or do you know what welding is? Yes. Your grandpa? Oh, okay, wonderful. Great. So Welding, as you can see in these images, is basically you're utilizing metal, but not even metal actually. So if any of you have the opportunity, every year during this time actually, during these couple months of the year, we offered tours for students within our district. So I don't know if Los Altos has already scheduled their tour, but usually we offer that opportunity, so please ask so that you can be a part of that group. Something very important is that you can't just hear about something, you have to see it, right? So if you're actually there in the body shop where we have our automotive program, you're looking at the vehicles, you're looking at the lifts and everything, or if you're seeing students, really in action, I think that's really where it makes it so much more visual, and just you can imagine yourself in that space. And we have industry level equipment and opportunities for you. So I just want to make sure I highlighted that through these images. So there's multiple types of welding techniques. So these are just a few, but these are the most popular ones that anyone in welding is going to want to obtain in order to get a job. So we have stick, MIG, TIG, and much more. And you are able to get what we call AWS certification. So AWS stands for American Welding Society. And basically what that means is it's a nationally certified program, meaning like let's say you get certified but you move to Texas or you move to New York and you want to work as a welder there, this card is going to actually apply for you over there and you'll be able to use that to get a job. So meaning you can move anywhere within the States and actually outside of it too. I think it's international. So that's an amazing opportunity that you have only being a student in our program, because you get a discounted price. How it ends up working is basically you prepare your test plate, you send it out to the agency, they approve it, and then you get your welding card. We also have a morning and an evening class. So a lot of our programs offer both morning and evening, meaning it's more flexible if you want to have a job as well. So that way it's very much catered to your schedule and your availability. So culinary arts, we are one of the few programs, I believe there's only other one adult school within like a 20-mile radius that offers a culinary arts program. This is a very intensive, and I would want to say rigorous, but completely comprehensive program. It's amazing. You're going to learn everything from regional cuisine, American cuisine, international cuisine, baking and pastry. You're going to be able to also do catering events. So sometimes people reach out to our culinary class and it gives students an opportunity to see what is it like to do an event for like 300 people, right? One thing is you're making a meal for like 7 people or 5 people. Another thing is actually doing multiple amounts and kind of seeing how to organize your time and your recipes in order to make sure that you get that accomplished. So it's a really great chance for you to get those experience. Our teacher is located there below. Her name is Miss Faraj. She has for like 20 years of experience in culinary. She went to the most prestigious culinary school, the Cordon Bleu, and she is amazing, and she's always doing demos. She's working with you directly, independently, to make sure that you really understand the concepts. So in addition to that, a lot of students ask, well, am I also going to understand how managing a restaurant works? And yes, absolutely. So she makes sure that she works with you on creating a menu. Make sure if you want to do catering, if you want to see how pricing works, because you have to order your food, and there's so much more than just cooking. There's cleaning, there's sanitation, there's organization, and there's a lot more managing. But this is also a financially eligible program that you're able to complete. So our administrative assistant program, unfortunately, we can't guarantee that we're going to offer this in the future because our instructor is leaving. But I did want to include, if there's anybody interested in that class, you can look at these other adult schools within the area. And if we happen to offer anything in the future, we will be more than happy to share that or anything related. We are right now trying to see if we can do something related to to computers, but something a little bit like more like cyber and AI and all of that stuff. So any new programs that we will be including into our catalog list, we'll make sure to share that. But if you have any questions about that, I'd be more than happy to answer any. And our pharmacy technician, they are the ones working with the pharmacists, making sure that clients are able to get their designated, pills and things like that. So this one, just like welding, is a morning and evening program. You also have an extra shift. So an extra shift basically is an opportunity for you to go somewhere and actually do the hands-on training. So what that means is that you're not just in class learning theory, you're also going to be getting some training in an actual setting. You're going to be working with the partners that we have to make sure that you complete your hours and get a clear pathway towards employment. So this one has a cohort starting every 6 weeks, meaning every 6 weeks you have a chance to start the program. So we have a lot of students going through our programs. It's a very popular course. This one does have a prerequisite where you have to make sure that you have a TB test. You want to make sure you have a clear criminal background. And then again, just like I mentioned earlier, you want to pass your assessment. In total, it's 380 hours in 24 weeks, although most of the other programs are about 1,080. This is one of the shorter programs because it's pretty accelerated and you get there quicker. And then psychiatric technician. So this is kind of a mouthful. I know that there's a lot. I'll probably share this slideshow to Ms. Bravo so that she can share this with you. But psychiatric technician and LVN, there are our most intensive programs because they require a lot of preparation and they're very advanced. And for that reason, they go through a pretty extensive list of prerequisite requirements. So a psychiatric technician is someone who works with a population of students who have some sort of mental disability or mental disorder. So for that reason, it's, like I mentioned, pretty intensive. You're looking at 1,500 hours, which is more than a year, as opposed to most of our programs being a little less than a year. And you need to make sure that you have a very flexible schedule. It's completely full-time. You can also be required to be on campus on Saturdays or in evening, morning classes because you do clinicals. Many of you are actually at the clinic sites, at the hospital, or at a clinic completing your hours. So although it has a lot of information there, please, if you inquire with this program, make sure you are communicating with the counselor because she's going to be sending you information, informing you of all the deadline requirements and things that you want to know before you enroll in the class. Is anyone interested in psychiatric technician? Does anyone have a question about what a psychiatric technician does?
Is the program like paid or is it like unpaid?
Oh, I'm sorry?
Like while you're doing this program, is it like paid or no?
So it is not paid, but so right here below you see it says 6,825. So like I mentioned earlier, financial aid will cover the whole cost if you qualify for the full aid, but there's a little bit left over. So when you're doing your internship, you're not getting paid for doing it. Those are hours, those are like volunteer hours that you're getting. But if there is any balance as to how much you qualify for and the actual program cost, then you will get that money back.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now LVN, does anyone want to go into health career programs? You want to be a nurse?
I want to be a dermatologist.
Dermatologist? Okay, great. So yeah, that's within the health careers. So if you look at the nursing like hierarchy, right? You start out with the CNA, which is the most basic. That's if you want to really see if nursing is for you. We offer that as well. And that is the first step. So in order to get into the LVN program, you have to get a CNA license. And then transition to the LVN, and then the highest is what we call the registered nurse, and that's the highest paying nursing job. So this one is just like the other ones, financial aid eligible. You do a clip theory and clinical program, And again, like I mentioned, follow the guidelines from your counselor because it can be pretty extensive as this flyer expresses, but it is an amazing opportunity, and you're going to get definitely a job out there because the industry of health careers is experiencing a very sharp decline of people wanting to work in that field. We have populations of adults who are growing older or who need health care, right? But we don't have the actual workers to occupy those spaces, so this is going to be a high demand job, anything related to health careers. You'll make sure that you are guaranteed a place to work. And I know that was kind of a lot of information and probably did not really understand much of it. But something I really want you to pull from today is that there's adult schools all around the areas, but you belong to a district that offers an adult school program, right? What that means is that opens up opportunities, it opens up gates for you. Does anyone know about the high school CTE program? Where you get bused over there for a few hours, you come back? Yes? Okay, great. Does anyone involved in it? Yes? Okay, awesome. So, I'm assuming by the not so many raised hands is that you're not really aware of it. So, being a high school within our district, we offer the opportunity to you to take one of 3 programs. So we offer medical assistant, we offer culinary arts, and cosmetology. So even if that's not something you're interested in, but you want to get some extra credit, if you're maybe low on credits, or if you want to just see what it's like to do a program like that, you have an opportunity to take a program for about a year. And you are bused there from Monday through Thursday. I believe it's 1:30 to 3:30, and at the end, you are part of a graduation ceremony where we honor that fact that you completed one of our CTE programs. Some of the programs offer you hours that can then be applied to once you take the full-time program, but others are just kind of more introductory level. But the benefit of this is that anyone involved in that program automatically gets a scholarship. That scholarship allows you to take any class that we offer at our school, minus the tuition fee. So this scholarship covers the whole tuition cost, which most of our programs, tuition cost is about 80% of the bill. So then you're only paying for like 20% of the actual program cost. And that doesn't mean that you can't apply for financial aid, so then your bill is so much less, and you get so much more money for financial aid. So that's a very, very unique opportunity that I want you guys to really think about if you ever get the chance to do that. If you still have an opportunity to do that while you're here at Los Altos. And also, at the end of the year when you all graduate, you also can get selected to receive that CTE scholarship that we call, which covers the tuition cost. But at the end of the day, what really matters is that adult schools are kind of like, we like to see it as like a hidden gem, right? So you can go to UTI, which is like advertised everywhere. There's commercials. And then all these private schools located in that area, located around here. But you're looking at paying $30,000 for a program that you can get at our school for $3,000. So much, much less. You are not going to get out of there in debt because the grant that we offer through financial aid is completely free money. So you're not going to pay that back. Also, it's fast-paced, and it's the same amount. You're getting the same quality of education that you would get at a private school, at a private institution that's going to take so much money from you, and you're probably going to have loans after you finish, and it's completely free. So please, if you are looking to get into any trade, into health careers, and it's offered in adult school, please look into that. And also, like I mentioned earlier, you have an increased job outlook. So on an annual basis, we make sure that our programs have, within the next 10 years, we're going to experience a growth in the job setting, right? So we're not going to be offering you a program that's outdated, that we're not going to see any projected growth. And I believe that's very unique because then you want to know that, okay, am I going to get into something that there's a future in, right? And then hands-on experience. So every time I have students come through our programs and I do what we call the exit interview once you're finished, and making sure that we are ready to get you placed into a job, which we make sure that we offer different supportive services for that. all the students say, what I love most about being at Willow Center is a hands-on experience. You know, maybe math is not your strongest suit. Maybe you don't really like reading and writing essays and doing this and doing that academically. But you're all about working with your hands and you're putting it into practice manually. So that's the biggest highlight that I say our students are very grateful for the opportunity that they have at our school, which is doing that hands-on learning. And I'm sure anyone who is able to see the programs and see that you're going to have a lot of opportunity to do so. So the last thing would be that we offer a lot of career placement and an opportunity preparation. So we'll work with you to get your resume. We have mock interviews. We also have co-alignment with America's Job Centers of California, which offer different career fairs at our school. So they offer hands-on learning as well. They offer job fairs, things like that. So we're constantly in communication and with different stakeholders in the community to make sure that we are giving you the best opportunity out there. So although I mentioned, about like 5-6 programs, is there any program that you're interested in that was not mentioned in these slides? And someone mentioned dermatology, right? We don't offer that. Technically, we do have different health career programs that you're interested in, but there's so many students here. I'm sure someone has some interest. Yes.
Do you have a barber?
We do, yes. So we have our barbering program, and it allows you to get prepared to get state board licensed so that you can, maybe open up your own barber at your own home. You can do mobile, right, which I don't know if you're seeing around now. We have not only salons, right, once you're in one location, we have people having a whole car van service, and so there's different, areas where the students thrive in. And we also have what we call the Cosmo to Barbering crossover. So if you take cosmetology, instead of taking the full barbering program, you do an accelerated, you just do 200 hours and you have both licenses. You have Cosmo and barbering, because really the only difference between Cosmo and barbering is that in barbering, they focus on like the beard aspect of it. So you're able to get both licenses.
How about electricity?
Electricity, so we actually have an introduction to electricity program, and that's residential electricity, so that's our focus. Students, it's more of an opportunity to see if students are interested in the field. So it's a very basic class. If they want to do an actual extensive program, it's going to get them the electrician card. I do recommend students to go to other adult schools like Bassett. They offer a program.
Bassett.
Yes, and there's other ones in the area.
How about plumbing?
Plumbing, I believe Bassett has plumbing too. But we, what we offer within that area is with the trades, is we have HVAC technician, which is actually right now a super booming program. It's a very impacted program. So,
Guys, we
that's
live in California where it's very hot. So summertime is peak time where air conditionings die out. So you guys will be in high demand with this HVAC course.
Yes, so the HVAC class is within the trade programs. It is the highest growth sector program that we have on campus.
So
And
HVAC is heating,
Heating,
ventilation,
yes.
and AC.
Yes, thank you so much. I know a lot of students probably, what is that? So heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So that can be within a residential setting. So you're looking at houses. We're also more commercial places, like those big warehouses or the big companies that require that. Every building requires a heating system, right? Heating and cooling, and that's something that's always going to be needed. So, and you can work for the state. You can get really great benefits. So I think that's one of the also pluses about any trade program is that getting into the union, getting into apprenticeship programs where you're going to be set for life, meaning that you are able to enter a work setting that's going to give you like medical benefits. It's going to give you retirement benefits, which I think right now it's really early for you to start thinking about that, but trust me, that's something super important for you in the long term, especially with how expensive life is getting and how unstable it's getting as well. So anything in the trades and the health careers and personal services, those are all areas that are going to be great for you to set you up into a stable living situation, or it can also just be something that you do, secondary to what your main career is. So that's not to say you can't get a college degree and you can get a master's, get your doctorate. Absolutely, I really encourage you to focus that. But if this is a program that you want to take and do like a side job, because sometimes even have two jobs is very, it's good to sustain a good living. That's also another thing I tell students to take a look at when you consider taking the program, especially when it's so local, it's so close to you.
One of my students is interested in welding, but he's gonna graduate until next year. Does he
Okay.
need to wait until he graduates to start the program?
Yes, I do, because when you spend such a long time, there's constant like interest being coming into our interest list basically. So the closer we get, the earlier. So basically, like let's say he graduates in June, right? So I would recommend that once he graduates, he or she inquires, and then that way during the summertime will be when we're doing the enrollment process, and they'll be beginning in August.
How long is that program?
The program is 10 months long.
10 months?
Yes.
And what is the total cost of that program?
That program is $3,425, I believe.
Does he need to pay up front or can he pay in installments?
No, so it's split up into 2 semesters. So the first semester is, I believe, like 2,000, and then the second semester is 1,000. Most of our students do qualify for financial aid, but if by any chance a student would not qualify for financial aid, there's also different funding opportunities too. So, for example, there's agencies that we work with like DOR, Department of Rehabilitation, that if the student has like a disability or if they have some sort of condition, they can sometimes fund programs, or other agencies that can offer depending on certain situations, or if there's a high financial need. What our focus really is, we don't want finance to be a burden for students. So we really work with them to see where it's something where we can make sure that they're able to take the program without any financial strain.
To qualify for financial aid, do they have to fill out the FAFSA?
The FAFSA, yes.
Is the FAFSA? What is the minimum or the maximum income per family for a student to qualify for that financial aid?
Yes, so that's it's a hard question to answer because they take into consideration a lot of different factors. I'm not too certain, but I've heard numbers being thrown around like 30,000, which to me sounds very low, especially with this like living situation. Because then you're looking at a household size, you're looking at if the student worked and they claim taxes, then they're going to be in a more difficult situation because they then now you're looking at parents' income plus students' income. So then most likely they're not going to qualify. And because any student coming out of high school, they're around 18, 17, which is under their age of what we call an independent student. So then they're going to have to put their parents' financial aid information. So it's all dependent on that.
Got it. What percentage of students receive financial aid, you said? You said the
Oh,
majority,
I'm
but
sorry.
is that a low majority or like? Almost?
Yes, I would say anywhere from like 80 to 90% of our students
Okay.
get financial aid. Yes.
All right, so that would be the end of our presentation, everybody. Thank you all for coming. I'm assuming there isn't any more last minute questions. If there is, feel free to ask. Well, if not, can we get a round of applause to our speaker? Thank you so much for your presentation. So yeah, we have about like 20-ish minutes. There's gonna be some time if like any of you have any like one-on-one questions you wanna ask her, feel free to do so. But yeah, thank you all. We have our speaker here. She's gonna go into detail about some of the pathways. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to ask away. But yes, thank you.
Can you guys have a seat on the chairs or on the couches? We're gonna begin right now.
All right, welcome everyone. My name is Kathleen. Madera. I'm one of the 3 counselors at Hacienda La Puente Adult Education, which is located just less than 10 minutes away from here. It's one of your adult schools that you have that are part of your district and offers you many, many opportunities. So I'm just going to touch on a few of them today, but I also want this to be very interactive. I was told you're here because you want to be here and you want to get more information. So please let me know if there's a program you want me to focus on. Let me know if there's a question you want to be answered. I'm here to answer any questions, clarify anything so that you can come out of here with some knowledge. So I'll go ahead and just start off basic is that we offer 17 different programs at our adult school within 3 different departments. So we're looking at health careers, which is all medical related. We have personal services, so there's welding, cosmetology, barbering, esthetician, manicuring, and then we also have trades, so HVAC technician, major appliance technician, we have culinary arts, we also have automotive technician and combination welder. So we are also constantly changing. So we are in the works with trying to open up an EMT program. We don't know when that is happening, but hopefully that'll be happening soon. We also are hoping to do a massage therapy program. We're in the process of getting that all approved, but it all takes a process and time. So hopefully that will be in the up and coming years. And just know that we're always constantly changing, constantly trying to bring programs that bring a lot of growth and that equal a lot of job outlook for you guys, because it's ultimately what we want to make sure is that our students are able to transition into the workforce and that there's a lot of opportunity for you out there. So most of our programs offer financial aid. Does anyone know what financial aid is? Does anyone want to tell me? Okay, so financial aid is federal money that's given by the government for students who are doing a program. And it's not limited to colleges or universities. We also offer it at adult schools as well. So you're able to get a grant, which is free money. You don't have to pay that back. It is going towards your education. And since most of our programs are very cheap, you also get money back if you complete the program hours. So does anyone here doing any of our high school programs, the high schools to CTE program at our school? Yeah. And we're doing medical assistant, culinary arts, and cosmetology. Okay, so it looks like we have a few students in here. So that's a unique opportunity that you guys have to really get your feet wet, and see what that program entails, see what you want to learn from it, see if that's a program, if that's a career for you. So please, if you're interested in it, or even if you're not interested in it, but if, you want to get that experience, there's nothing like getting that hands-on experience at a school with a training program like that, because you get some hours, you get some knowledge, and in addition to that, you also get a scholarship. At the end, you participate in basically what we call like a graduation ceremony. We offer all of our high school students who completed the program there. And you get a scholarship that covers the tuition cost of any program. So even if let's say you're taking cosmetology right now, but you really want to go into pharmacy tech, then this scholarship will cover the tuition cost, which is about 80% of the total bill of the program, meaning that you're basically paying very little money for any training that you're taking. So please look into that. I think that's something that you really want to take advantage of because you're in a very unique situation. So we'll go ahead and get started with some of the programs. Please stop me if you have any questions. And I'll also ask if there's any of the program, like I mentioned, that you're interested in that we can discuss. So the registration process is very simple. It's fairly simple. Make sure you fill out our interest form. Get in contact with the counselor. She will send you an email about what to do. You may need to email her in order to make sure that you get yourself on that list to get in the next program. We have cohorts starting at different points of the year, sometimes in the fall, which is the August, sometimes in January for our spring semester, or also in between. It depends on the program. Because they all operate a little bit differently, and then you want to make sure that you take the assessment, you complete all the paperwork, whether that is financial aid or any orientation or registration paperwork that is pertinent to that program. You want to make sure that you're completing that all in a timely manner so that you can get into the program, because a lot of the times what I see happen is that students inquire, they say, I want to take welding, I want to take culinary arts, I'm ready to start barbering. But if you don't fulfill that process, if you don't sign up to take the test, if you don't come back to do orientation, whether that's online or in person, then if there's no communication, then on to the next student. Well, sometimes these programs have like long waiting lists in order to enroll, so just communication is really what we ask for, because that's really gonna help facilitate your process to make sure that you get a spot in the program. So this is your combination welder program. This is a very great class that allows you to get American Welding Society cards, meaning that these are nationally certified. So you can move out of state, you can move out of the country, and you can utilize these if you want to be a welder somewhere else. So they're going to count towards any employment, and they also give you a bump up. So if the job is requesting that you have MIG welding, and you got an American Welding Society card through your experience in our program, that's going to give you a great advantage in the job application process. And there's also morning and evening class. So let's say you're taking another program, or let's say you are enrolled in college, but you want to take our evening welding class, which is only 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 8:30 p.m. You're absolutely able to do that. So you're doing 2 different careers. You're getting all of that experience, and all super cheap and affordable. So these are the different welding techniques that you're going to be learning. However, there's many more. It really is like a self-paced program. First, you learn the skill, you practice it, and then you have to focus on completing the hours for every certification so that you get your American Welding Society certification. And then we have our culinary arts program. So this is a very amazing, comprehensive program that teaches you baking and pastry, international cuisine, American cuisine. You have an externship at the end where you're working in an actual restaurant to make sure you get that hands-on experience as well. And you have to actually have experience catering too. So sometimes we have events on our campus where we need to make for like 300 to 500 people. You get that experience to see how that looks like. And you also learn about pricing and what it would take to run a business or to create your own catering business. So that's very, very great opportunity for you, especially because I think there's very limited culinary programs around the area that offer this type of instruction. We have our administrative assistant, although right now it is currently pending closure due to the instructor not being available anymore to teach the class. So we will always try to see how we can occupy that space, as I mentioned earlier, so something hopefully related to anything related to technology. We're trying to occupy that space, something that's relevant. So if there's any changes or anything like that, we'll make sure to really advertise that so that you get that information to you. Our pharmacy technician program is working within the pharmaceutical setting. So you are learning about how to administer dosages appropriate to the needs of the client. And you also do clinical settings, which is you're working at an actual pharmacy setting so that you are getting that experience. A lot of our programs have those externship experience, which means you have super high chance of getting a job because wherever you work at your externship, most of the time hires you. So but we have a really, really high placement rate, which placement means job site rate. And you do have some prerequisites. You have to have TB and criminal record, a good criminal record. And this is one of the programs that's very accelerated, meaning it's only very short term, so only 380 hours. There's a cohort that starts every 6 weeks. So there's always a chance for you to start in order to take this program. And it's a morning and an evening class as well, so you can take it. It's very flexible whenever it's most appropriate for you. Our psychiatric technician is one of our 2 most extensive programs and rigorous programs here. So one of them being LVN, which is licensed vocational nurse, and then this is our psychiatric technician. So LVN and psych tech are very similar. The only thing is that psych tech focuses more on the population of students who have a mental health disorder. So they're looking at schizophrenia or other diagnoses like that. So you're looking at a mental health facility, rehabilitation facility, and you'll get hands-on experience with that as well. This flyer kind of gives you some information as to what are the prerequisites. You have to go through kind of an extensive process to enroll, because It's a very, like I mentioned, rigorous. It can be kind of difficult because you're learning a lot about the science, the psychology aspect of things, and how to care for a client that's in that setting. So it's really great. All I have really advised you to do is make sure that you fulfill all the different requirements and guidelines set by the counselor, who is Ms. Yesenia Castro. She will be in contact with you, letting you know that you are well aware of like all the steps to get you into the program. And this is the other one I was mentioning, LVN. This is one step below the highest level of a nurse, which is a registered nurse. So they work alongside the registered nurses. You have experience in geriatrics and also pediatrics, so you do both the younger population, the older population, and just generic clinical setting. And also you make sure that you complete a CNA, because that is a prerequisite. So you can do CNA with us. We also offer CNA. There's only a 200-hour program, fast-paced, and that also gives you an opportunity to figure out if that's something that you want to do. If nursing is the right pathway for you, is make sure that you take CNA first, and then you transition to LVN. It is over a year, so our psych tech and our LVN are both over a year, but you're really doing a career that is high in demand right now, because we have a shortage in healthcare workers. So we need more people like this going into these programs. And although they can be challenging, they are very rewarding. So opportunities, overall, these are kind of the highlights that I would like to point out. So we're fast, low-cost programs. So what that means is, I don't know if you're aware, but there's other programs like UI and LA Tree Tech, who are private schools that offer programs that are very, very expensive. So they can offer an HVAC technician program, and or a cosmetology program. There's a lot of small little private cosmetology programs that cost $30,000 plus. Our programs are $3,000 to $4,000. So you do the math, right? Do you want to go into debt? Do you want to take out a loan to try to pay for a program, or do you want to take this class in less than a year with no debt coming out of the program, and opportunity for you to get a job, because it's local, it's very accessible, and it's cheap and fast-paced, as I mentioned. And then, as I mentioned, well, the financial aid aspect of it, increased job outlooks. So we're constantly going through basically what we call accreditation processes to make sure that our programs are high in demand, and we're offering you something that you're going to have a job 10 years from now. So we invite employers, we invite professionals in the industry to let us know whether the programs we're offering are up to date, whether we need to buy more equipment, change our syllabus, change our class structure in order to prepare our students. So you know that you're going to get an education, where you're going to get a job coming out of it. And lastly, you also get that preparation for work. So our counselors, as well as other agencies that we are aligned with, provide job fairs. We have resume workshops, mock interviews, soft skills training, different opportunities for you to be prepared, not only through the training aspect of it within the class setting, but also getting experience in the outside of that. So the soft skills, which we've been told time and time again that soft skills are very severely lacking amongst this population of students. Does anyone would know what soft skills are? No? Anyone take a guess? So hard skills, so soft as opposed to hard. Hard skills are like the technical skills, right? So let's say you're a technician. Are you able to repair the vehicle? Yes. Are you able to talk to the customer? Let them know this is a price point, this is what's wrong with your vehicle, this is how long it's going to take you to pick it up, this is how long it's going to take you to get it fixed. That is, now we're being told, is much more needed and much more important than the technical skills, because anyone can fix anything. Anyone can just learn how to do it, but can someone communicate with you and make sure that the client is happy with the process so that they come back? So these are things that we're always taking a look at, because like I mentioned, that's what's missing. And communication, like just raising your hand and asking a question. If you're thinking about something, There is no dumb question. Trust me, I'm sure that you have people tell you that all the time, but it's all about communication, because communication means that you're inquisitive, right? That you want to learn more information, that you have questions and you want to figure out what's wrong. So we also offer like different workshop opportunities for that to make sure that you are well prepared. And ultimately, like if you're a senior in this class and you're about to graduate soon, I highly advise that you fill out our interest form in any of our programs so that you can start getting the information for you to enter the training. So that's a QR code right there if you're interested in any. But is anyone here interested in a program that I did not mention but you know that we offer? Like I didn't go through automotive technician, or I didn't really talk about HVAC technician, which are two very popular programs in the trades. Anyone interested in anything?
If not, that's fine, but thank you. Okay, all right, everyone, so that would be the end of our presentation. Before we wrap this up, is there any like final questions, like if you have anything like specific?
Would you say balancing like when we're enrolling in college and enrolling in like
No, and actually that's a great point, and that's probably something I didn't mention, but I always try to encourage. I know college is an amazing opportunity, and I highly encourage that for students, but if you're looking into doing like a secondary career, or doing something that, like in our school, it only can be completed in only 1 year or less, I highly advise you, because if you take your evening class and you're enrolled full-time at college, you can do both. We have students like that who are at Mount SAC and then they're taking a program with us. And it's very, very manageable, because our programs are not necessarily difficult unless you're looking into like a Sci Tech or LVN, which really requires complete full focus. You know, if you're taking any other program, then I think it's totally manageable. It's all according to the hours that you set, making sure that your life-work balance is manageable for you as well. Mm-hmm. Yes, of course.
Any other questions? Okay, so before we end this, can everyone just give a round of applause to our speaker? Thank you so much for the presentation. It really does help expand the scope that people can know about it in the future. But yeah, and if anybody has any questions that they want to ask one-on-one, feel free to do that. We have about we have 15 more minutes left to go. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.